Hey everybody and welcome. Now I want to do a review on the Holmes desktop air purifier. The model is 9243. And also want to give you guys a review on their filters and in-depth ability for it. Now, the air purifier unit is pretty cool if you want it for a fan. Why am I saying this? Is because there's a few pros and cons to it. The pros for it being a fan and the cons for it being a purifier. The pros are for the fan ability is pretty nice. Without the filter in it, it's a dust collector. You can have the prefilter on the front, just like that, all that ability, and run it without the fan, the filter in it, and it works. Performance. And it's got a negative ion generator. With the fan ability and no filter, it runs nice and quiet, and I can tell this for a fact because above me right here is my bunk bed, and less than 5 feet, which my unit sits there, is right there. And it's on low right now, and it's pretty quiet. It's probably about, I would say, maybe less than 20 decibels in sound quality. Now on medium, it would sound around 20 to 30-ish in decibel range. And then on high, it would sound like around 40 plus-ish. And it has those mode steps. It goes from, 10-20% to 50-55%, and then obviously 100% in power-wise. Now that's cool in jazz. But why would anybody want to buy it for a fan? I don't know. Probably because the air quality goes up instead of sideways like most fans do. And instead, it actually blows around the walls. So it's basically like having a reverse ceiling fan. So instead of going down, it actually goes up and blows all around the walls and comes down. So if you're sleeping on a bunk bed like I do, it's actually pretty comfortable. But for an air purifier, it's pretty bad. Because when you stick one of these in, instead of the fan doing like the without the filter, it goes it revs up. So the fan has some kind of stupid rev up system for it. So when you put the air purifier filter into it, it goes from 20% to 55%. Basically, it's like on medium setting, and it's pretty bad. And so when it's on medium setting for when the filter is on, it's like 75%. So there's not really much of an increased difference. And then when it's on high, it goes to 100%. And the sound quality for all those are around like 30 to 40 plus. And it's really annoying. So person that loves it on low for a white noise machine, it's going to be a bit louder than a white noise machine. So there you guys go. Cool. If you want it on medium, it's going to be a bit louder. If you want it on high, it's going to be a little bit more louder than that. And it's quite annoying and obnoxious. But hey, it's got an ionizer or negative ion generator, right? And bad side is it doesn't come with a carbon filter, which a lot of air purifiers do. Sure, it comes with a pre-filter that you can wash and squeeze out and put soap on it and all that jazz, but carbon filter also removes odors and jazz like that. But I guess since you can get a HEPA type filter that comes with it that is infused with baking soda and collects 99% of dust 3% better, I guess that's cool, right? But then who wants to buy an air purifier for that performance when just the pre-filter can do all that for very little price? You want this for allergens and other jazz like it's supposed to be for. So this you just want to go and toss out the window. Now, the machine I already told you about. It's got its pros and cons and jazz like that. But what makes it very bad is not their machines. It's these guys. It's their big, fancy, high, new, improved technology air filtration system. This is a HEPA type, but I didn't use this HEPA type. I actually used the one that is actually supposed to be used in a air purifier, which is the true HEPA allergen remover. That's the green model. Even with their green model, it has the same thing. This has the same thing. All their models have this very interesting glue on here. I get this really close. You can see that clear kind of glue in the crack in the middle there. You will look on reviews and other websites, and they'll tell you one thing on when it has like a 3 or 2 star. It stinks. That's why this is in a plastic bag, because this also stinks as heck. So you need to run your unit on high for almost 24 hours plus just to get that stinky smell of this glue out. That's pretty stupid. Now, I wanted to get some information about what kind of glue that they use for this, because there is no kind of glue that should stink. I mean, even hot glue does not stink to high heaven for this. And you would think that that'd basically be it, because it kind of feels like hot glue. But no, it's not. So I went on their website and used their little on live chat system and actually asked them what kind of glue they use. Glue that they use on their filters. And guess what they tell me? And I also asked if it's even safe or hazard. Guess what they tell me? Oh, we're sorry, we can't tell you that because it's prioritized. What? You can't tell me jack? And get this, that's not the only question I asked. I got the same exact response. I also asked the same thing as what kind of fibers or filters you're using thingamajig for it. And they just said, oh, fibers. But their first response was, oh, it's prioritized, we can't tell you. And also was about, I asked their motor, what kind of motor that they use inside the system. Like if it's an AC motor or DC brushless motor, or if it's a brush motor, jazz like that. Same thing. It's prioritized. We can't tell you that. So basically, if you ask any questions about the unit or filters, all you would get is, oh, we're sorry, we can't tell you because it's prioritized. Simple as that. We can't tell you jack. My camera needs to brighten a bit more. Come on. So you're pretty much screwed if you try and ask any questions about the unit or their filters. Here's another thing. There's foam right here. Okay, I get this because it makes it so it air seals itself, and that there's only this going through the intake ability. Now, with the true HEPA filter that I got and been using for the last 2 weeks for my entire unit, I have my unit pretty much running almost 24/7 at times. I do turn it off at night so I can actually sleep. Sometimes I do turn it on so I can have that little white noise effect and actually drown out other crap that's going on and sleep peacefully without having to be disturbed, because sometimes I'm waking up at times or having whatever. But anyways, yeah, I've been running the unit for almost 24/7, and just a few days ago, I noticed something very horrific and horrifying. I take the unit, the filter out, and guess what's on the intake grill? You know, where it sucks in from the filter area, and then there's the grill that's so you can't poke your fingers through it. Guess what's on it? The same color as this. I carbon swab my finger on it, and I have the same color as my filter, the green, and also white dust on my finger. So white and green dust from the filter has been being blown or destroyed off this plastic filter, paint, whatever it is, and been sucked into the purified air and blown out into my room. And that's all. That's not all. Is even the performance of the filter itself has not been lasting up to its specs. Instead of actually removing allergens and other crap like that, and also dust and whatnot that it should be doing, it actually doesn't do it. It just makes it worse. It's probably because that dust is being collected off the filter and being thrown back into the air, and it, instead of making my nose nice and clean to breathe, it makes it very annoying. And I have a really sensitive nose because I can smell even through this bag, and also I can smell, which people rarely can smell, is the baking soda on this. Actually, not on this filter. I actually can smell the baking soda off the carbon filter that I got also to help with the odors and jazz like that. But that didn't do anything. And I also did a trick to try and prevent that dust from collecting again by putting the carbon filter on this side instead of this side like a lot of people do. And that didn't do anything. The dust still kept going through and I still had the same problem. And so like 2 nights ago, I woke up with my nose basically trying to bleed itself to death. I kept on sneezing, I kept on blowing my nose, and it was just like, I was like, oh my gosh. I turned the unit off, and guess what I do? Instead of, well, I did air the room a bit. I have 2 other units that are for cars. Let's get specific with that. They're for cars. You don't actually use them for a room. I actually have one right behind me. It's actually on my bow that you can see the little tiny light. And I have one on my windowsill right now. They're both running at the moment. It's pretty cool. They are DGQ negative ion generators and air purifier units. This is actually just a negative ion generator with a photocrystalline thingamajig and a carbon filter on the bottom. But there's no fan system or anything like that. They release, in total, both of the units, sorry, hiccups, in total 13 million negative ions, or AN ions. Basically, they have a fraction A of ozone being released, so it cleans the air and gives it a bit more fresher, too. It's not too dangerous because it's still under the limits of the parts per million limiter. But yeah, these things work far better than having the air purifier that I bought on. And after turning those suckers on, about 2-3 hours later, man, my nose is beautiful. I can smell. I can literally walk around my room, dance, and all that jazz, and go, and nothing. My nose doesn't itch or anything. And since they're negative ion generators, it basically felt like being in a bath for 5 hours and being in the bathroom with the little exhaust fan. It basically smelled so clean and so it felt so good. It was so like being in heaven that these little 2 CAR air purifier things worked way better than that. They're CAR purifiers. Just telling you that compared to an actual home room thing. That's the difference in performance. Yeah. So, and another thing, you just heard it. Now I can do it again. These things are not cheap kind of plastic either. They're the kind of plastic you'll find in most common devices that you use, like a mouse or your headphones and jazz like that. It's not the kind of plastic you would expect to be recycled and jazz like that. This actually feels like it is not recyclable and that you'll just throw into the trash and it ends up into a landfall. So yeah, and that's also another reason why I believe a lot of other companies, instead of using the plastic ability, they actually use cardboard, because that's recyclable, and also the paper can be recyclable. So bonus to bonus there. The big difference also, they have, instead of having these little foam pieces, they have either foam on the entire outside of the cardboard, or like a rubber seal. That way the unit sticks in and stays there instead of basically wobbles off and go, because it doesn't actually lock into place. Well, yeah. So if you find an air purifier that uses plastic, I would probably avoid it, because probably it won't fit in correctly, and it probably has crap glue to make it so it seals into the filter ability, and also it probably is not even eco-friendly, so you can't really throw this away and expect it actually to be recycled like it should be. But yeah, as for my ability, I didn't buy it for a fan. I bought it for an air purifier. And if it's not going to perform like that, then guess what's going to happen? It's going back to the store. So, that's my review. You guys get to see for an actual first video that I think that has been posted for this, and actually very in-depth compared to a lot of other things, and people just making little kind of, oh, it's pretty cool reviews. You guys actually get to see more than 1 billion words mentioned, and me dancing like a dork. So, thank you for watching, and jazz like that, and I will go kick some butts again. Peace out, and breathe better.